it's Christine and welcome to the July Stash Bash. This month we are focusing on washi tape and I know you're going to just love the inspiration that you find. So I am doing a layout today and I am going to make a sunshine. I used my Easy Runner from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L and I used the Easy Dots repositionable runner to attach my circle there so that I can pull it up in a little bit. And then I am going around and I am just using washi tape all the way around, and I am using this, it's a thinner washi tape in width, and it comes from Doodlebug Design, and they had this rainbow assortment sets that had 12 different rolls in all the rainbow colors, and then they had all these different patterns, and it was just really fun sets that they came out with a couple years ago. And I have most of those sets, and so I am just using yellow in all different patterns and going all the way around to create the sunbeams around my circle. Now I'm gonna break into the orange color as well in just a minute here and add that so that I get the entire sun circled by rays. But first I wanted to do yellows because I want orange to be more of an accent color because I plan to use it a lot more throughout the layout. So I really wanted the sun to be primarily in that yellow color. So here you see I've pulled out the orange and I'm just going to do it in a few different colors here. And what I'm doing is just kind of filling in where I see there are spots along the edge of the circle that are there, that there's big gaps, because I don't want there to be any big gaps there along the actual perimeter of the circle. And then for like the rays, I'm varying where they end because I think that will make the whole thing look a little more interesting than if they all go to the exact same spot or if they all go off the page and whatever. And so I'm just going around and kind of eyeballing it, using my scissors though to cut the end because I do want it to be straight and not torn. I don't know why, but that was my preference, and so that's what I went with. So you can see that I'm using washi tapes that some are monochromatic and some have white on them so that the white shows through, and that just provides really interesting texture. Now what I'm going to do is just use a craft knife and go all the way around that circle and trim those washi tapes so that I can pull the circle up, and there we go. I used it to do masking and I love how it turned out. Now I'm going to use my frame punch board to cut out a frame that I'm going to put all the way around the layout, and I'm actually going to use it, I'm going to put my layout on top of it. I'm going to cut a 1/2 inch off all the way around. But this is a great way to save paper, and so I'm just going around my 12 by 12 and cutting out that frame. And my camera actually cuts out before I get completely done, but this at least lets you see a little bit of the process. Now I added the sunshine onto that orange paper, and then I just hand cut some clouds, and I'm taking a brush marker and I just added a little to the outside of them, and then I'm using some crafty foam adhesive tape to pop those all up and pop my picture up as well. And I am just adding some extra dimension that way because so far I've got a very, very flat layout, and so I want to make sure I get some pop from that picture and that it pops off with all that's going on already on the page. What is cool about this picture is my son is wearing a shirt that almost exactly matches the oranges and the yellows, and that was just kind of coincidental. I wasn't exactly sure where I was going with this technique, and when I pulled that picture out, I was like, holy moly, okay, that is perfect. That is the picture for this layout. And he has a pretty cute little smile on his face there, being a little sassy. So I'm tucking those clouds underneath, and you can see the clouds I also added, I ran them through my Cuttlebug and added some dimension that way, and that was something I haven't done in quite a while, but it was nice to have it there and to be able to do that. Now I'm adding some coordinating buttons. These are also from Doodlebug, and I am just adding all those buttons onto the orange rays. This was a great way to use up some buttons. I knocked out a serious amount, as well as a great way to use up a lot of washi tape. And I tried to vary the size, again, just like the rays. I tried to vary where I positioned them so it's not all uniform and exact. I'm using some adhesive dots from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L to just attach those, and I'm just using some small ones, and that makes it nice and quick and easy, and they are not coming back up unless I really am pulling on them. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to go ahead and work on my title. You can see I've got the word epic on there already. I'm not happy with that. And so I am going to change that and add on, I dug into my stash big time and pulled out something really old from Amy Tan and something brand new from Amy Tan. So there you go on how it worked. So it says, seriously, that is the old one. It's a puffy, thicker. And then love this in that circle. And I felt like that circle really played up the sun look. So I decided that was a good way to go. Now, the last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to add some enamel dots on here. And these also come from Doodlebug, and they call them sprinkles. And again, I'm just adding another little special detail to make the layout complete. So thank you so much for joining me today. I am doing a giveaway today for a $10 gift certificate to someone who is a subscriber and leaves me a comment on this video. We'll see you soon.